There's some places that Kamala Harris is definitely vulnerable, the border being one of them. Certainly some of the things she said on Ukraine, stuff she said on energy, especially fracking. You made the point when we were together in Milwaukee that this is about convincing suburban women to vote for one candidate or the other and to vote for something. Joe Biden's only pitch was, I'm not Donald Trump. That was his whole pitch. That was Democrats' whole pitch. Kamala Harris, like her or not, is going to have a few other pitches, a lot of which are aimed at suburban women. She's a woman. They get to vote for the first woman president. You're going to come back to me and say, well, Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. That's not really the same thing, is it?
Well, it's not the same thing. And look, this is obviously a historic candidate for the Democrats if Kamala Harris goes on, and I think she will, to be the Democratic nominee. The real question is, who does she pick as her running mate? And maybe this is more important than even her being the nominee, because the short speculation is she could pick Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania. She could pick Governor Whitmer from Michigan. They say Mark Kelly from Arizona, but I really think it's one of those two governors. And if so, you have an opportunity to have the first all-female candidate ticket for a major party in America. And if he picks the governor from Pennsylvania, where there's a very competitive U.S. Senate race, it has long-term ramifications on the additional potential control of the U.S. Senate for Republicans or Democrats. So this pick that she is tasked with is going to be very important for her success going forward.
Look, her 2020 campaign was an absolute disaster for president. Reasonable people can agree on that, and Joe Biden rescued her by picking her as vice president. He promised that he was going to promise Clyburn of South Carolina he was going to pick a black female, and then he went ahead and did, and rescued Kamala Harris after her failed campaign. She now has to run a campaign and has to put one together in very short order. Can you, and you did this for Trump, so you know what running a presidential campaign is like. Can you just sort of graft on a new candidate to the Biden campaign and suddenly Harris gets elevated, Biden goes out, and you keep moving the train down the tracks?
Well, look, the Democrats are very united. I think all 50 state party chairmen have already endorsed her campaign because they know that they need to move forward. But the reality is there's going to be a lot of hard feelings with those Joe Biden supporters who wanted to see him stay. And there are still some of those. And Kamala Harris has probably worse approval numbers, favorable, unfavorable numbers, than even Joe Biden did. There's a new poll out here in my home state of New Hampshire where she's running even with Donald Trump right now. Obviously, this was in the field after the Republican convention, but before this announcement, the results are just being announced tonight. So it's about a dead even race. That's not a great sign for Democrats who've won 7 out of the last 8 presidential elections here in my home state. So she has a lot of work to do. This is not an easy thing to do. Yes, she was on the ticket as the vice president, but now being at the top of the ticket, is she going to keep the Biden campaign senior leadership team, or is she going to bring in all her own people who clearly have never run a national operation? And it's very different running a campaign in your home state of California, which is much more progressive than a number of these states in the country. So we'll see what she does to try and soothe those waters, to kind of keep everybody calm. Does she keep the Biden people, or does she get rid of them all and start new?
Yeah, and I think also there was no love lost, at least in the beginning, between Kamala Harris's team and Joe Biden's team, right? That there was a lot of anger by Harris's people that she was sort of being pushed off, and Biden was icing her out. All right, Corey, you know Donald Trump better than most. He's reworking his stump speech right now. So is J.D. Vance to go after Kamala Harris. If New Hampshire's in play, that changes the electoral map significantly. What are the fairest, because the best hits are always the fairest hits, on Kamala Harris coming from Donald Trump?
Well, the fairest is either she knew that Joe was cognitive declined and hit it, or she was so out of the loop of the decision matrix that was taking place in the White House that she isn't fit because she wasn't prepared. And more than that, Leland, your previous guest talked about it, her tenure as the border czar has been a dismal failure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.